Hi there, and welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. Several people reached out after watching my last video on why I lost my fish and suggesting various things, whether it was fish bloat or what caused that swim bladder. And one person in particular, that being Greg, made a really good, valid point, and it got me thinking. He said, "Have you ever known a Shubunkin goldfish have swim bladder issues when it's outside in the pond?" And it really got me thinking, like, no, never. It's always developed inside. And why is that? Is it something in the diet? It has to be, right? Whether it's, you know, it's too much hard food like pellets, because I know I feed them quality food, but is it because they're not getting as much natural food? So I started thinking, and I know you're all going to say, that's a dangerous thing when Stubbs starts thinking. But really, you think about it. Have you ever known a fish to get swim bladder issues when it's outside all the time? And I'm not talking the real fancy ones that their bodies are all contorted. And nothing against those, because who doesn't love a good Fantail or a Ryukin? Because they're beautiful fish. But I'm talking like a common comet, sarasa, Shubunkin goldfish, a nice hardy fish that's still susceptible to swim bladder or bloat issues. So I wanted to start feeding them more like my friend Dan does. Maybe like Jack and Dan. They have a almost identical pond to mine, and they predominantly feed a lot of peas. So I decided to feed mine a lot more peas. And well, I figured since my Shubunkins are going to eat them, I'm going to feed Barbs, being that they're in the same, basically the family. So I started to feed them some peas, and I wanted to give them some shrimp. Now I want to give them some bigger shrimp, and what better than shrimp cocktail out of a can? It's inexpensive, right up my alley, and what I don't use I can freeze. So I fed them this, and I have to admit, they didn't take to it right off, but they certainly cleaned the plate off, if you know what I mean. It took them a little bit longer. So 2 days later, I wanted to feed them again. And you can see from this first episode of me feeding them, a bit of a slow process. Except for my Odessa Barbs, because, well, they're crazy and they'll eat everything. And surprisingly, my Aurelius Barbs, they took to it pretty quickly, as did my other Barbs in that tank, being my filament Barbs or mascara Barbs. They took to it pretty quickly. I was actually amazed. But what threw me for a bit of a loop was the younger Shubunkins. Uh, they took to it right away. So I wanted to see what it would be like after the second time. And well, here's my results. This was the first feeding of this. In this case, they were canned peas and canned mini shrimp. And well, I thought they would have taken to it quicker, but they really didn't. But they still ate it. I gave these to the Joaquin. They weren't quick on it, but when I came back to check, it was gone. What I was really surprised was with these Aurelius Barbs is they hit everything, and they're just they're just beasts. And these Odessa Barbs, well, they're just happy that they're getting any type of food. So when you toss them in, it's gone. Um, Now my juvenile Shubunkins that where I lost my one, they weren't the quickest, as compared to these guys. They took to it right away, and these are within a year's fry. But it didn't take long for the other to get onto it. Again, I keep going back to the Aurelius. They took to it, and I know it looks like there's a lot there, but here I'm going to show you the tank in a very short period of time, and it's clean. These guys did not surprise me at all. They like virtually anything. I was a little bit surprised on the peas, but yeah, they even took them and fought over them. I fed these again for the second time, and that day, and they surprisingly ate more than I thought they would. I was expecting to come back and see a bit of a mess on the bottom, but as I'll show you, the bottom was nice and clean once I was all done filming. Um, this is the Aurelius tank. There's a bit of shrimp and peas at the bottom, but it was gone. My Shubunkin tank, the little one, it was cleaned like there's no tomorrow. The juvenile tank, it was spotless. I was really happy that they ate them all because this is the tank I was really worried about. After the first time I fed them this concoction of peas and shrimp, I thought they were a little slow at eating it, but they certainly cleaned up the bottom. Within that day, everything was gone. So I wanted to try feeding them again and to see if they would take it and get onto it much quicker this time. And as you can see, they're still not exactly speedy on it, but they are foraging and eating it. And that's what I wanted to see, especially when it came to the peas. Obviously, they're going to eat the shrimp. And they're pretty quick on it. Not all gone immediately, but they are a forager, and in no time flat, this will all be gone. For some reason, I really noted that the younger ones seem to really go for this a lot quicker. I can't tell you why. Whether it's their body's need to grow quicker or not, but they seem to be on it much faster. They still take their time foraging, especially for the peas, but they were eating it. And I'm going to continue feeding them this. I gotta tell you, the fish that really surprised me going onto it pretty quick were these barbs. Not only was it the shrimp, but it was also the peas. And that totally surprised me. Again, it wasn't totally gone real quick, but within 15-20 minutes later, they had devoured it. Between that and the bristlenose. And I was glad to see the bristlenose eating some fresh food rather than just pellets. Maybe they'll leave my plants alone. But the fresh peas, I'm happy that they're all eating it. I decided even to give the gold barbs and this tank some fresh peas and a little bit of shrimp, and everyone was on it. Yeah, this one was not as much of a sharker because these guys just eat everything. And they're quick to eat everything and fight over it. And feeding them a variety is very important. Really good for the health of the fish. The Joaquin seemed to take it to it a little bit quicker this time. They obviously enjoyed the shrimp a lot more than they did the peas, but they still cleaned that all up. So I was happy. It's really important that this type of fish get a variety of diet. Now the time that I fed all my fish, these guys have cleaned everything up. And we're talking a matter of a couple minutes. It's all cleaned up. It's gone. So they obviously like it. Now there's a bit left here, but I know if I come back tomorrow, it'll be gone. Because I know the bristlenose will clean up everything in here. In fact, they're already hanging around. But there's not much left. And these guys, as normal, are still hungry. Surprised, there's looks like at least one pea left. And my solo bristlenose has come out, so it'll be gone in no time flat. These two cleaned up everything immediately. The medication is pretty much burnt off, or will be very shortly. From when I did treat this tank, they're all nice and healthy. And the young Shubunkins still have a little bit of the peas left, but it'll be all cleared up in no time flat. Man, they're growing well. And as you can see, nibbling away at these peas and just leaving the shells behind. I think Jack and Dan are really on to something here. I know you're thinking that's a lot of food and a lot of waste at the bottom. But wait for it. Yeah, no doubt they like this stuff. Don't let your fish fool you sometimes. I'm definitely going to be giving these guys a steady diet of shrimp and peas mixed with all the other good quality food I give them. A little bit of softer food now and then really does wonders for the digestive system. Plus, it's all natural. This can only help with the overall health and the coloration of your fish. Look at these beauties. I love these Aurelius barbs. They have to be one of my favorite all-time. Along with these mascara barbs. They're none too bad either. And with all this fresh vegetables and meat on the surface of the aquarium, nice to see fish you normally don't, being the bristlenose, even come out. Well, I think that was kind of evident on what they thought of that. Easy now, guys. Apparently they want more. Well, if you like this relatively short video, remember to hit that thumbs up. Think about subscribing and hit that notification bell. Okay, guys, we'll feed more. Jeepers. Anyways, thanks again. We'll see you real soon. Remember, keep on keeping on. And bye for now. Thanks, everyone, for that great advice, by the way. I appreciate it.